Greetings, principles of marketing humans. It's your professor, Dr. Pellegrino, once again, and I am here today to talk about ethics. I'm going to talk a little bit differently than the book material. I'll give you sort of my own view of it, and I hope it works out for you here. So, what I wanted to talk to you about today is a basic philosophy of ethics. Now, in my experience, there are three ways to make a decision. And the first of those is based on something called morals. Now, morals are based on whatever the dominant religious belief in a particular society is. So in the United States, morals would be based on Christianity. In Japan, morals would be based on Buddhism. In Saudi Arabia, they'd be based on Islam and so forth. And so morals are limited in so much as that they differ across cultures and across countries, and if you try to make business decisions or marketing decisions with them, you're probably going to be okay as long as you're making them consistently with whatever culture you're working in. So they're usually pretty good, but they do have the consequence of changing across cultures. The second is something called the law. And, the law, again, can be very, very complicated. It's based on the country, state, city, whatever statutory rules they have in place. When you're doing business as an American in a foreign country, you're bound by American rules as well as the country's rules. If bribery is okay in Lebanon, but it's not in the U.S., and you do it, the FBI might be waiting for you when you get back into the U.S. So, again, hard to make decisions across cultures, across situations. That's why we put lawyers on, in companies. And the last is ethics, and this is the one I wanted to talk about. And it really is based in philosophy, in pure philosophy. And so what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about the philosophies of ethics. Now, there are three that I want to talk about very quickly. The first is called utilitarianism. And utilitarianism is quite simply doing the greatest good for the greatest number. So with utilitarianism, we make a decision, and whichever decision helps the most or does the most benefit for the greatest number of people, that would be considered a utilitarian decision. The next philosophy is one called individual rights. Now, individual rights are a little different and sometimes come into conflict with utilitarianism. Individual rights means that each individual has a particular set of rights that may not be violated by a decision. And so, when you look at the greatest good for the greatest number, you can't make that decision if it violates the individual rights of any one person. And so those two tend to be in conflict with one another. And the last one, many times this is the tiebreaker, is justice, and it's consistency of decisions across similar situations. So if you are willing to do something once, you should be willing to do it every time thereafter. So this one is really just about being consistent. If you are comfortable with it, then you're probably going to be okay. One of the things I've found over the years is that when you make decisions, when you're trying to make ethical decisions, many times the utilitarian and the individual rights portions are pretty apparent. It's justice that tends to be a little stickier. And a suggestion I can make to you, just your own personal life, is if you say to yourself, oh, I'll just do it this one time, eh, that's probably a bad idea. So that is what I came to talk to you a little bit about today, and I hope that helped. And I'll see you again in chapter 4. So you have a lovely day, and thanks for watching.